Great. So
And
first
oh,
off,
cool. I've never seen that before. I'm gonna hit the got it. I got it. Cool.
yeah,
I just
yeah, it gives
gotta
you the little ping.
yeah,
Yeah.
sweet.
So first off, I want to say thank you for speaking with me. It's really appreciated. Um,
The honor's all mine. Thank you for reaching out. This is fantastic.
yeah. So I guess kind of to set the stage a bit, like how did you get your start in music?
Well, music's something I've always loved for sure. And I started really by writing poems in about the seventh grade. Like it was an English class assignment. And I found that was a really cool outlet for me. And that was just sort of naturally led to a transition into making hip hop music, with the spoken word thing. It's sort of like there's a lot of parallel there. And I grew up loving hip hop as a genre, and I just fell in love with it. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been writing since I was 13, but making hip hop music since I was about 18, 19.
Yeah, yeah. And who or what would you say are some of your personal influences?
Oh gosh, like so many, like just off the tip of my head, like all the golden era stuff. Nas, Jay-Z, Big Pun has the best flow ever in the history of rap. Big L, Big E, Tupac, all of that golden era stuff. Eminem, like you couldn't escape his influence coming up as like a 90s kid. That went absolutely parabolic. So he was everywhere. Dre. And then what's interesting about me though is my main influence ever, like sort of the spearhead of me wanting to create is Bob Dylan, surprisingly enough. Bob Dylan, because of what he had to say and his lyricism really drew me in as a poet. And I'd say if there's any like celeb that had the biggest impact on my life, it would be Bob Dylan for sure.
Oh, yeah. And how would you describe your own personal style?
I think, definitely that golden era. Like I care about rapping and rapping well, but also, I'm open to genre bending. Like some of my stuff has sort of a rock slant. Some of my stuff has, that obvious influence of having something to say, like a Bob Dylan kind of thing as well. Not that rap doesn't have anything to say. I hate people who say that. But yeah, like my style, it's classic without sounding dated. I would like to say, if I could, the most kind way of putting it, I suppose, right? Like my bias aside, but yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm covering your event on at the hip hop market. How did your
Sick.
role as a yeah, how did your role as a curator for that come to be?
Well, I realized that there was a space missing for young and up and coming artists to kind of spread their wings and get stage time. Like the issue with all of this stuff, and it's so hard in a creative industry, but that like ultimately it is a business, like first and foremost. Like there's some dollars and cents stuff that just has to make sense for all parties involved. So the problem with booking shows at a venue, say you like push really hard and do really well and sell like 35, 40 tickets. There's a lot of tickets to sell for one act. You
Mhm.
book your own show, you sell your 40 tickets. Ultimately, the bar doesn't do as well as they wanted it to do. They don't make enough dough to cover their rent and their staff and blah, blah, blah. So they don't ask you back, right? Ultimately, it's like very hard for young artists to get stage time and space in the city. Also, there's a huge stigma against booking hip hop, which I find is rooted in a lot of like ignorance that venues are scared to book hip hop because they assume that it's violent, they assume that it's rowdy. And I wanted to prove that like that's not the case. Like our events are very communal. Everyone gets along really well. Everyone's friends at the end. It's a great time. It's very safe. And because I hate that stigmatization of hip hop and urban music. I think it's like really dangerous and ultimately like borders on like a lot of racist undertones, which I completely reject. So I thought of, I'm like, okay, if we could get a ticket split situation with like a bunch of different young, hungry acts, we could fill the bar, they can hit their minimums, they can enjoy the night, everyone can get 15 minutes of stage time, we can all kind of help build each other up. So that was why I got into it in the first place. And then it kind of took off from there. Like we had a lot of steam pre-pandemic. We were really getting our legs. Unfortunately, the pandemic came and like we're just kind of picking up where we left off at that space in 2019 with our new partner venue, Bar Cathedral, which has been, they've been so gracious, and like it's the best venue I've ever worked at. Like the sound is incredible, the lighting, the space is great. Adam, who runs it there, is fantastic. So it's a really exciting time for us. Like I think we're slowly but surely becoming the premier outlet for independent hip hop in the city, which is really cool.
Yeah. And, I guess kinda speaking of, like, your role of curation, kind of finding artists, how did you come across some of these newer artists? Like, what was the process there?
Well, what's interesting is the event kind of builds on itself. So like artists know artists and they hang out with artists.
Mm,
Some of their artist friends come to the show and they're like, "Hey, can I play the show?" And if as long as I think that they can hustle and move some tickets and care about their craft, I'm down to give anyone a chance, right? I think that's the cool thing about the market is I'm trying my best not to make it like so much in this industry is like a very like cool guy like gatekeeper thing where it's like
mm,
no you can't or like you're not cool enough or whatever. Like I want anyone with that drive to be given the opportunity to play, and if they do well, like I bring them back, right? Like there are some hip hop market staples that have been rocking with us since 2019, like Kilo P, Clever Leg, White Boy Scummy. Like there's a few guys that have done multiple events with us that always go hard and bring their people, and it's like great. Like we make money, they make money, and the bar makes money. Everyone's laughing. So yeah, it's kind of built organically on its own just through word of mouth. And like on my Instagram page, on the hip hop market page, follow at hip hop is my supermarket, by the way. Anyone?
yes.
It's it says the DMs are always open, right? Because like they
Mhm.
are. If you can draw, I'll book you for sure, and I'll give you a space to be free and create.
Yeah. And, so what is your preparation like for your own performance at this event?
Honestly, like it's a lot of just getting up there, feeling the crowd's energy and feeding off that. Like I don't, and this is gonna sound crazy, I don't rehearse a ton. Like I'm always rapping, so I'm pretty comfortable rapping. But my preparation is just like I'm just another artist. Like I'm hustling tickets, I'm hitting people in the DM, I'm hitting people in the text, I'm hitting people on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, being like, you gotta come see this, you know? And then my preparation is just going, I pick my set list according to how I kind of want it to go. Like I want it to hit a certain apex and then be done. So I pick my set list accordingly, and then I just catch a vibe and go. That's basically all I really can do. Like I work again, like it's more the part of like now I'm wearing these different hats, right? Like curator me versus performer me are almost two different people. Like when I'm a performer, I'm just another artist on the bill, right? To me, like I don't give myself any sort of special treatment. Like I intend to hustle as many tickets as I can and to bring people to get them to watch other people's sets. And then, as the curator, I got to organize everything though. I got to make sure people have their music in. I got to make sure they have their music on time, in on time. I have to make sure that their songs all play and make sense. I got to get them to the DJ. I got to make sure that everyone knows their set list is 15 minutes only. And if they go over, I got to be like, come on, we got to go. Cause like 2 minutes lost on each set, it does add up. Right. So I'm kind of like running around like a chicken with my head cut off show night, especially when I'm playing. Cause it's like a lot of different things I got to navigate. But again, like I love it. It's a labor of love and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I guess lastly, kind of a general question, but what are some of your goals for your art and your work in the future?
Well, what's really cool is I'm working on starting a band, so that's gonna be
Oh,
sick.
that's awesome.
Yeah, because these two dudes I booked for a couple markets now, Teamer and Kamikaze, and I was like, yeah, that is really engaging. And I think the live band stuff will draw more on my influence from like a lot of the classic rock my parents played and that I grew up listening to. And I think it will just sort of offer a new element to both my recorded music and my stage presence as well. Like I think it's a lot more engaging and there's a lot more people can connect to. Like if they get bored of looking at me rap and they can look at the drummer, look at the guitar player or the horns or whatever, right? Like it's a lot more fun. And then aside from that, like I'm looking on building. I got a bunch of stuff in the tuck. I'm looking to release that and get some playlist traction on that and get some ads run across social platforms on that and see where that goes. I'm really excited about the new music I'm working
Yeah.
on rather, and the people I'm working with. Shout out to my producer Noms, who kills it always, and my new engineer After Party, who's like just got me sounding like I signed a deal with like Universal or some shit. It's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. And then in terms of the market, like I'm looking to build it. I'm looking to get a solid roster of about 15 to 25 consistent MCs that can draw consistently and like, looking to bring on new guys too and like give those opportunities where I can. And I'm looking to, hopefully attach ourselves to some bigger name tickets, right? Like if I want to do you know, I'm thinking of hopefully, and this is my dream scenario, but like hopefully once a quarter, the hip hop market can attach itself to a bigger name show that's in town and provide openers for that and provide space for that. So like people can start opening up for some bigger acts and get that on their resume, which is always great. And yeah, just building the brand, building the name, right? Letting people know in the city, like this is where you got to be for new hip hop. Like this is the only place that it exists in the city right now in any sort of meaningful way. And I just want people to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's all I have for questions today. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I will definitely link this your socials and stuff. I'll put them in my
Dope.
story, of course, always. Um, yeah, that's thank you for speaking to me. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for taking the time, and I apologize again on my
Yeah, no
tardiness. It
worries.
totally slipped
No
my mind,
problem at
but
all.
this was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
my dad is a veteran retired journalist. So again, anything to help
Yeah.
the up and coming journalists, I'm more than happy to do. So
Yeah,
if you ever
thank
need
you.
anything, let me know. And I hope I see you on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hopefully really hoping that everything falls through and I'll be able to. Yeah, awesome.
Sick. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Bring some friends,
Thank you so
please.
much. Yeah, of course. Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, nice meeting you. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.